Welcome to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. Use the power of discovering new habits to create success in all areas of life. Body, fitness and nutrition, being, spirituality, passion and purpose, balance, marriage, kids and relationships, business, marketing, sales, leadership and systems. Transform your life by learning how habits work. And now your host, a husband, father, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and warrior, Jesse Ewell.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of creating a blueprint. So as we get into this episode today, I really want to break down why it matters that you have a blueprint, why it matters that every single day you have this blueprint of putting yourself in a place of power, putting yourself in this place of knowing exactly what you need to do to really maximize not only your morning, but your day. Because let's face it, not every day are we going to wake up in a place where we feel 100%. And as we get into this episode, I want you to think about really what you're hearing. I want you to think about things in a different perspective. I want you to think about putting yourself in this place and understanding that this was one of the things that I had struggled with for a long time. And as I struggled with this for so long, it took me to this place of really understanding what I needed every single day to really maximize my production, maximize my performance, maximize my power, and not only that, maximize my purpose. So I woke up this morning in a very dark place. My thoughts were kind of all over the place. My mind, I just caught myself kind of wandering. And I felt this frustration just kind of come over me. This anger, and many times in the morning, luckily I'm not dealing with my kids, my wife, or any other of those things. Because a lot of times I wake up in this place. I wake up, wanting to blame everyone else. I wake up many times pissed off. I wake up frustrated, at myself. Maybe days where I don't really feel this 100%. And in fact, most days I would say I don't necessarily wake up, like people like to say, on fire. But what I also realized is, for the last 5+ years, I have had a blueprint. And this blueprint changes, it evolves, it gets upgraded. But these are the things that most people won't tell you. They won't tell you that they don't wake up 100%. They won't tell you they'll wake up pissed off. They won't tell you that they're angry when they wake up. They won't tell you that their thoughts, their feelings and emotions are all over the place. But one of the things that I started to realize is it didn't matter how I woke up. It didn't matter if I was excited. It didn't matter if I was frustrated. It didn't matter if I was happy. It didn't matter if I was angry, as long as I didn't stay in the place I didn't want to be in. See, most people won't tell you today, because when you look at social media, most people look like they're at 100%. And as you begin to look at their accounts, as you begin to look at all of the things happening in their life, their 100% makes you feel like 10%, 20%. It's like, man, how can so many people be happy? How can so many people always be excited? How can so many people do this? And what you come to realize, and what I've came to realize, is if you're only posting on one side, whether you're angry all the time or you're happy all the time, whatever side you want to be on, chances are that one is a lie and the other is somewhat of a truth. If you're happy all the time and nothing ever seems to go wrong, I'm guessing that there's a deeper issue. If you're angry all the time, there's obviously a deeper issue. But between both of those, there's this happy side, angry side, and then there's somewhere in the middle. But I'm going to be honest with you, most days I don't feel like working out. I mean, there's a lot of days I don't feel like working out. There's some days where I don't even feel like getting out of bed. And in fact, most days I would say I wake up feeling about 50%. And because I feel like that 50%, this is the exact reason why I created habit-based lifestyle. You see, habit-based lifestyle was created and born off of a predictable way to put myself in power, a predictable way to get myself aligned in the right direction to live my purpose, a predictable way to not only have power and have this purpose, but to position me in a way that I could get the most out of my day. So as I began to create this and I began to launch this, it was kind of like, hey, here we are, habit-based lifestyle. This is really what it takes for me to get myself from 50% to 80, 90%. Because very rarely are you going to wake up at 100%. If you say you're 100%, I'm guessing you're probably not, and you're just saying that. But no matter how I wake up, no matter how I feel, no matter what I feel like doing daily, I can just go through this blueprint, this map that I created, these habits to get the result I was looking for. And so as we kind of come back to this, this habit-based lifestyle was really the creation and the predictable way of doing things in a specific order that got me the results that I wanted. It got me in the direction that I needed to go for the day. See, this is what I find most people struggle with. They think they need to live a life on other people's terms. Every single habit I have created, every single thing that I do every single day is leading me in the direction that I want to go. And yes, of course, there's days where I get sidetracked. There's days where, things happen, things come up. But if I have this blueprint, I can always steer back on course. It doesn't mean every day is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean, every day it's going to happen. But what it is, it's a predictable way and a predictable system to get me to where I want to go. And having that predictable way and making it simple teaches me that I can be at a certain place when I wake up, whether it's 50%, 60, 70, 80, and I know where I'll be by the time I finish. And so I don't focus on necessarily how I feel when I get up. Because how I feel doesn't always tell me what's really going on. None of that really matters. What matters is that I recognize, hey, here's where I'm at and here's where I'm going. And I got to start doing all these things in order. Now, a lot of people will say, well, listen, that sounds like you are almost like a robot. And it's not that I'm a robot. It's that I know what it's going to take to get me to a certain place. And I know what I have to specifically do to get there. And I'm the only one that's going to stop me from doing this. See, because too many people focus on others. They don't deal with themselves first. They don't work on their own mindset. First thing in the morning, before anybody else has gotten out of bed and they've dealt with themselves, they don't actually deal with themselves first. They focus on others and they never get their mind or mindset right to actually start their day. See, things like social media take over. And you feel like shit because it looks like everyone else is killing it. Meanwhile, you're lost surfing through all these things where people look like they have this perfect life. Maybe you're like other people where email takes your attention right away. You get caught up in talking to customers, clients, answering questions and responding. All of a sudden you get sucked in. You've been up for an hour and you've done nothing other than look at email. You get sucked into your phone and distracted. You start immediately texting people. And you're distracted from the real things going on inside of you. You see, having a blueprint for me was allowing myself to not be distracted by social media, allowing myself to not be distracted by emails, allowing myself to not be distracted by my phone, because those were all things that pulled me away from myself. And as I began to observe myself, I began to realize that was a huge distraction. It was just a huge amount of things that I would not get done because of those things. And as I began to track the amount of time I spent on my phone, the amount of time that it would take to get distracted, then get back to what I was doing, I found that I was spending anywhere from 4.5, 5 hours, 6 hours a day on my phone, and then looking at areas of my life and being like, well, no wonder I didn't get this done. I was distracted. But it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get sucked into these things. See, the truth is, the things that matter the most to you happen in order every day. The things that will matter the most to you will happen in order that day, good or bad. But one of the things that I see people do so much is they get on their phones. First thing, they get distracted. Not only that, they get on their phones, they get distracted, and it keeps them from doing other things. It keeps them from actually getting on track. See, there's lots of people who claim their habits, but they won't claim their results. There's lots of people who will claim their habits, meaning they will tell you all these habits that they do, but when it comes down to claiming their results, they don't like them. And so the question is, are you really doing the habits that you're saying you're doing? Because if you don't claim your results, then you won't claim your habits either. You might say you're doing them, but at the end of the day, you're only going to claim your results if your habits line up with them. And so as you're thinking about this, how do I start creating this blueprint for my life? How do I start claiming my habits? How do I start claiming the results that I have? Is just simply look at, hey, are the things that I'm doing every single day getting me closer to what I want or further away? Or the habits taking me to the results I want? If not, then it's time to change them. It's time to change the blueprint. And guess what? I've had to change them. I've had to evolve them over the last 5 years. Literally every 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, I've had to change them. And the reason I've had to change them is because I've grown. And as you grow, you have to change your habits and to continue to grow your results. So one of the first ways that you do this is look at the results in your health. I'm not saying just the physical results. I'm saying look at the results in your health. When's the last time you had blood work? When is the last time you had a doctor visit, a dental visit? Like, these are all things that you look at for results, but most people focus on, how many times a week they're working out. Most people are focusing on how much, their body fat is. But these are great. These are external things. But the real thing is what about your health? Look at your marriage. Is your marriage where you want it to be? Is what you're doing on a day-to-day basis feeding your marriage, or is it taking away from it? Look at your relationship with your kids. Are you doing something on a day-to-day basis to get you closer to that relationship you want with your kids? Look at your business. Look at your employees. Are you investing in them every single day? Look at your bank account. Is your bank account growing every single day? Because if it's not, you're going to have to change your habits to make sure that they start lining up with your results. They start taking you to where you're getting results. So I want to leave this with you today with this. Habits are a predictable way for you to get results. Now, the part that comes into this is you being consistent and you being committed to doing these habits no matter what. It makes it to where you don't have to necessarily think about what you're doing. Doesn't matter how you feel when you get up, you do them anyways, but this is a predictable way, a predictable blueprint on how to get results in your life in whatever area you want. And all it comes down to is you being consistent, you customizing these habits to work into your life to get you the results that you ultimately want. I want to thank you guys for being on here today. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, feel free to reach out to me, habitbasedlifestyle.com or Jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.